Myself, Dr. Hanuman Prasad Pandiri, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, IARE, which is located at Dundigal. So today I am going to discuss a topic on outcome-based education, which is abbreviated as OBE. So one must learn about outcome-based education to get succeed in your course in real life as well as subject. Okay. So let's look at the contents that I am going to present as a part of this topic. Guide to writing and assessing learning outcomes and Bloom's taxonomy. These two contents I will explain in detail. So let's have a look. The first one, the first content, a guide to writing and assessing learning outcomes. National Board of Accreditation (NBA) gives accreditation for higher education institutions in India. Okay, NBA gives accreditation for higher education institutions in India. Please take a note of this and keep it in mind. NBA, National Board of Accreditation, which gives accreditation for higher education institutions in India. NBA was established by AICTE in 1994. What is AICTE? All India Council of Technical Education. Okay, so B Tech, M Tech, Bachelor of Technology, Master of Technology. So these are technical education. NBA has full membership in the Washington Accord since the year 2011. Okay. NBA has full membership in what? In Washington Accord. Since what year? Since the year 2011. So now, the higher education institutions are accredited by NBA, right? So now, these higher education institutions can be accredited either in Tier 1 or in Tier 2. Now you have to understand which institutions are accredited by NBA in Tier 1 and which institutions are accredited by NBA under Tier 2. So let's see the institutions that are accredited by NBA in Tier 1. All IITs, Indian Institute of Technologies, all NITs, National Institute of Technologies, Central Universities like Hyderabad Central University, Pondicherry Central University, Benares Hindu University, Aligarh Muslim University, etc. etc. And state universities like Acharya Nagarjuna University, Andhra University, Osmania University, Sri Krishna Devarayala University, etc. etc. And autonomous institutions, for example, IARE. IARE is an autonomous institution. Okay, MLRIT, that is an autonomous institution. These are also accredited by NBA under Tier 1. Okay. And now, which institutions are accredited by NBA under Tier 2? All affiliated colleges of universities. All affiliated colleges of universities. So, the colleges which are affiliated under university. So, for example, Mallareddy Engineering College, which is affiliated in JNTU. So that will be accredited by NBA in Tier 2. Okay, all the affiliated colleges of universities are accredited by NBA under Tier 2. So I hope you understood how NBA gives accreditation for the higher education institutions in India under Tier 1 and Tier 2. Let's look at the next content, that is Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy is shortly represented as BT. It is a global language for education. It has a ready-made structure and list of action verbs. Bloom's taxonomy has a ready-made structure and it has a list of action verbs. Bloom's taxonomy is of course preferred by teachers. It is of course and always preferred by teachers. Because it is a global language for education. It is a global language for education. That is why it is always and of course preferred by teachers. Okay. And in continuation, Bloom revisited Anderson and Krathwohl in the year 2001. According to Bloom, who has proposed some taxonomy rules in 1956, which are knowledge, this is the least level, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evolution. So these are from low level to high level. Knowledge level, comprehension level, application level, analysis level, synthesis level, and finally evaluation level. So these are the 6 levels that exist in Bloom according to 1956 year. Okay. And after revisiting, Anderson and Krathwohl came up with some modifications in the year 2001. So how many years gap is there between these two modifications? So 2001 minus 1956, there are 55 years gap, not 55, 45 years. There is 45 years. After 45 years, Anderson and Krathwohl in 2001 came up with some little modifications. So the least level is to remember, the next level is to understand, the next level is to apply, and the next level is to analyze, and the next level is to evaluate, and finally the highest level is to create. So one should remember first, then he or she should understand, then he or she should apply what she remembered and understood, then he or she should analyze what she applied or understood or remembered, then he or she should evaluate what she analyzed or applied or understood or remembered, then finally he or she should create what he or she had evaluated or analyzed or applied or understood or remembered. Okay. So these are the levels from low level to high level. Remember is the least level, lowermost level, whereas create is the highermost level, and understand, apply, analyze, evaluate are the middle levels. So analysis, synthesis, evaluation are the higher order thinking skills. Analysis, synthesis means creation. Here synthesis is there, here creation is there. Both have the same meaning. And evaluation. These are the higher order thinking skills. Okay. So remaining, remembering, understanding, applying are the lower order thinking skills. Okay. So let's look at the next slide. So the various levels that I have discussed as a part of Bloom's taxonomy are remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and finally create. So remember is the lowermost level, whereas create is the highermost level. And the mid levels are understanding, analyzing, applying, and evaluating. Okay, analyzing, evaluating are the mid levels. Yes. So level 1. What level 1 gives information? Can the learner recall or remember the information? Okay. Can he recall? He means learner, he or she. The learner can recall or remember the information that is taught or that is read. So it includes some keywords such as define, duplicate, list, memorize, recall, repeat, and state. And the next level is understand. In this level, what we have to question? Can the learner explain ideas or concepts? What he has remembered? He has to read to remember. He has to understand to. He has to remember to understand. Okay, to understand, he has to remember the concept. So now, in understanding, what we will ask? Can the learner explain ideas or concepts? Okay. So in this level, the keywords are classify, describe, discuss, explain, identify, locate, recognize, report, select, translate, and paraphrase. Okay. And the next level is analyze. Not analyze, apply. The third level is apply. So what the question should arise in mind at this apply level? Can the learner use information in new way? Whatever he has remembered and whatever he has understood, can the learner use it in a new way? So that is what the level apply gives info about. Can the learner use the information in a new way, which is remembered and understood? So you have to read to remember, you have to remember to understand, you have to understand to apply. Apply in what? Apply in a new way, that rather than you have learned. Okay. And the keywords that will come under apply level, third level, are choose, demonstrate, dramatize, employ, illustrate, interpret, operate, schedule, sketch, solve, use, and write. Okay. And the next level is analyze level. The fourth level is analyze level. So one should apply to analyze. And in order to apply, one should understand. And in order to understand, one should remember. So this is the ladder. You have to go in a stepwise manner. You have to read to remember. You have to remember to understand. You have to understand to apply. And you have to apply to analyze. Okay. So what the learner should question himself? Can the learner distinguish between different parts of the concept? Then he will analyze it. So can the learner distinguish between different parts of the concept? And the keywords that will come under this analyze level are appraise, compare, contrast, criticize, differentiate, discriminate, distinguish, examine, experiment, question, and test. And the next higher level is level 5, evaluate. Level 5 is evaluate. So one should analyze to evaluate, and in order to analyze, he should apply. In order to apply, he or she should understand. In order to understand, he or she should remember. In order to remember, he or she should read. Read to remember, remember to understand, understand to apply, apply to analyze, analyze to evaluate. So under evaluate level, there are some keywords which include appraise, argue, defend, judge, select, support, value, and evaluate. And the highest level in the Bloom's taxonomy, revised one, by whom? It is revised by Anderson and Krathwohl. Okay. Yes. So now the final level is create. So in order to create, the learner should evaluate. In order to evaluate, the learner should analyze. In order to analyze, the learner should apply. In order to apply, the learner should understand. In order to understand, the learner should remember. In order to remember, the learner should read. Read to remember, remember to understand, understand to apply, apply to analyze, analyze to evaluate, and evaluate to create. So what the learner can ask question himself? Can the learner create a new product or new point of view? based on what he has learned or what he has applied, what he has remembered, what he has applied, what he has analyzed, what he has evaluated. So based on all these things, the learner can create a new product or new point of view. And the keywords that will come under this higher order thinking level, create or assemble, construct, create, design, develop, formulate, and write. Now let's look at the continuation. Bloom's different learning levels can be articulated through logic. They can be articulated through logic. Logic is the key factor for the Bloom's different learning levels articulation. For the articulation of Bloom's different learning levels, what is the key factor? Logic. Before we can understand a concept, we must be able to remember it. Before we can apply the concept, we must be able to understand it. Before we analyze the concept, we must be able to apply it. Before we can evaluate a concept, we must have to analyze it. Before we can create something based on the concept, we must have to remember, understand, apply, analyze, and evaluate the concept. Means it should go from step by step. You should not climb the second step directly. You should not climb the third step directly. You should not climb the fourth step directly. So like that, 6 steps are there. So you should go in a stepwise manner. First you should climb the first step, then second, then third, then fourth, then fifth, and finally you should climb the 6th step. Otherwise what will happen? You will fall down and you will get a problem. So go in a step by step manner. Don't look at shortcuts. Okay. So now the next slide under Bloom's taxonomy is Bloom's taxonomy is a multi-layered model. It is a multi-layered model. For what? For encouraging learning. It is a multi-layered model for the purpose of encouraging learning by progressing through 6 levels of increasing complexity. I have already shown what are the 6 levels of increasing complexity. The 6 levels are, these are also called cognitive levels because they based on logic and you have to use your mind, brain. Okay, so they are of increasing complexity. So you should go from down to top. Remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and finally create. So I have already explained all these things and keywords that are in the 6 levels of revised Bloom's taxonomy by Krathwohl and it's difficult to remember their names. You can see their names once. Anderson and Krathwohl. They revised the Bloom's 6 levels, 6 cognitive levels. Yes, I have already explained different keywords and what the learner can question himself. Okay. So let's look at the next slide in Bloom's taxonomy. So it is like a triangle. The base of the triangle occupies remember, whereas the apex of the triangle is occupied by create level. So base level is remember level, and the next level is understand level, and the third level or third step is apply level, and the fourth level is analyze level, and the fifth level is evaluate level, and the final apex level is create. So remember is the base level, and finally create is the apex level. Okay, so it is like climbing a mountain. So the base is like remember level and the apex is like create level. Okay, so I have already explained the key factors that come under the 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy in revised way in 2001 by Anderson and Krathwohl. And the next, so first 3 are come under lower cognitive levels, and the last 3, analyze, evaluate, and create, come under higher cognitive levels. Whereas remember, understand, apply come under lower cognitive levels. Yes. So I have already explained various keywords that will come on each and every level of revised Bloom's taxonomy levels by Anderson and Krathwohl. So level 1, remember the base level. Level 2, understand. Level 3, apply. Level 4, analyze. Level 5, evaluate. And final level, apex level, is create. So these are the keywords which I have already explained. Okay. Yes. So thank you very much for all of your kind attention and all the very best in getting success in your life.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.